All aboard your tech news, games, and deals caboose. We have some closed beta MMO stuff and early access games to go over, along with some cool new trailers. So let's jump right into that. We start off with Anno 1800. This is the closed beta that you can sign up for, and it's starting on the January 31st, so just a couple days. And we get a little trailer overview along with it as well. So you can sign up on the website. It's the second tab, or I'll just link to it in the description below. So basically the overview kind of goes over the workers a little bit. You want to keep them happy. They help your island, they help you build and expand and everything, obviously. And you also want to make sure that your city's attractiveness is going well, because that can help you people living in it and maybe help expand other people seeing you. And then they have the newspaper, which is a cool little feature. You can basically create propaganda and get people to go on strikes. So that's always useful to have a newspaper. But the big thing about this is the new world. So you can actually explore outside your island and travel into the new world and expand even further. And here's a little map in the bottom corner. It looks like there's a lot of different islands to go to and explore and take over, basically. And then there is some fighting and action. There's some skills and stuff you can get into, different trade rights, peace, war. And then you can get into some actual naval battles, because you're going to be exploring across the ocean. You might as well build some cannons and stuff to fight off naval occupiers and stuff. So get hyped for that. January 31st is the closed beta. Sign up now to get in for that. And next up we have For Honor. We'll get into the other closed beta in just a minute, but the new Black Prior class is going to be coming on the 31st, which is in a couple days. It's a new heavy class, and he has the bulwark ability to fight like 1v2 battles, and he has some pretty good blocking mechanisms. He uses a kite shield and a sword, and again he can kind of fight in 1v2 situations and throw people over his back. There's one person being thrown. There's a good shot somewhere of him throwing two different people. So there's one, there's two, bam, and then he did a slash and hit multiple people too. So he's pretty strong, but he can be countered pretty well with guard breaks. So there's some counterplay to him, and he's not just overpowered and going to kill everything. And on top of that, the season 1 pass owners will be able to get to play him a week early, and then February 7th he can be purchasable by everybody else. And then we also have the new map, the harbor map, and this gets pretty interesting. This is the domination map, and the little NPCs fight in the middle, and you can have to capture 3 different objective points. And here is a little overview of the actual map from zoomed out. There's A, B, and C you can occupy. So there's a ship in the middle, there's different pathways to get around, and there are also zip lines at 142. It gets pretty cool. So from the middle point, you can basically zip line to the other 2 points to get places really quick. So they added some cool zip lines into the map for some fast travel, basically. So get hyped for that. And next up we have Last Oasis. This is a MMO going into early access in a couple of months, but there are closed beta signups we'll go over in a second. But this is a survival MMO. You're going to do a little bit of gathering, a little bit of building, and these are walking mobile bases, basically. So the world stops spinning and the sun is scorching the earth, and you're trying to outrun it, I believe. So these larger structures, you're going to need multiple people, it sounded like, to actually occupy. And then there's smaller crews that can come around and they can grapple onto, it looks like, to actually slow down and stop them. And then it's basically a trade war and fighting for over resources, and well, everyone's trying to outrun the sun, I guess. So it gets pretty hectic here. There's some other cool little things to show. Here is some gathering in the outside world. And then we have some actual combat. Again, this looks like really early access. We're not even actually in early access, but some interesting, there's a sword block there. Looks like there is someone's arm flying off. That was just red paint, don't worry about that. Looked like there's a duck or a low slash or something. So there's like one-handed and two-handed abilities, it looks like, for combat. And then there is some actual building we can get into. You can build bases on the ground, and then I believe you then transform them into walking buildings, and there's some grappling hooks to jump around like a pirate, I guess. Pretty cool. And then there is one more thing at the, here's some actual big battles. Looks like, well, close to 25 to 50 people. If you imagine like 5 people on the bigger ships, and it looks like 20 people on each side minimum, if not more. So this could get some pretty big battle sizes, and it looks pretty action intense if you ask me. So pretty cool there. And it doesn't really tell anything about missions too much in this trailer, but it looks like there might be some other world threats, I mean. So there might be other PvE style stuff to do, but we're not too sure yet. So this is coming spring 2019 for early access. And again, there is closed beta signups. You can use this link. There's no date for when that's going to start, but I would hopefully imagine February, sometime next month. So some other little things we can get from the Steam page, Scorching Sun, some of the lore. And here is the trade in a player-driven economy. So this is what, because it's going to get people moving, aside from the sun killing everything, and getting people to interact with each other and fight. So there's some smart and quick traders can make huge profits, completely global player-driven economy. And for world size, they're actually interconnected oases. So each oasis is around 100 kilometers squared, and thousands of these oases can be, each one opens up based on player count. So thousands of them can be connected basically. So looks like a large open world connected by oases. So we'll have to see how transversing into a different oasis actually works in actual trailers, but we will have to wait and see. So melee combat and building bases. So get hyped if you're waiting for some MMO survival-y stuff. So that looked pretty good. And we have Pantropy, which is coming January 31st, a little bit sooner. This is a more sci-fi multiplayer, or MMO, I believe, as well, early access. So this is coming sooner, and we get a little trailer. This is about 10 months old, so we'll see how the early access edition fares. So we get some mech style stuff, ships you can build. It's a little bit FPS oriented with shooting and fighting. So here's some weapons you can do. There's some space crafts you can build as well. Airships. I'm not sure if you can travel into space. I didn't mean to say that. But there's a lot of different combat, and there's also alien threats. So there is a bunch of PvE stuff to encounter as well in that Pantropy. And so this gets pretty intense with this. This was also Kickstartered and got 74,000 euros. And the early access was expected September 2018. So they're just a couple months off, but they're getting into it, looks like. And a couple of features to dive into on the Steam page. So there's going to be crafting. You can build different crafts to actually use, I believe, possibly weapons as well. And then this is more faction based. So it looks like there's going to be different wars between whatever faction you choose. So there will be that. Again, PvE and PvP focused, whereas Last Oasis looked a little bit more PvP with the trade mechanics kind of diving into PvE, but we'll have to see. And then multiple biomes again, so it looks like there's some kind of uniqueness to it as well. So there's that. And that's your sci-fi coming up in just a week, January 31st. Get hyped for that. So we also have some Anthem news. The game's coming out next month, so we've got a lot of stuff to go over. So Michael Gamble is showing off the player hubs, so up to 16 people it looks like. People seemed pretty excited for this. Wow, this level of communication and implementation is next level. Bravo. So apparently we weren't expecting player hubs, so they added this in already, and it's not going to be in the demo going out tomorrow. It's going to be on release, it looks like. So 16 player hubs to gather up and play with friends. Cool there. And then we have a VIP demo trailer. It's just like a 30-second teaser kind of, and be the first to play, which is tomorrow. And I mean, other people are already playing. IGN, I believe, is doing a live thing right now. What the heck? And then you can invite friends, up to 3 friends if you're getting into the early access stuff. And how and when can you actually play Anthem? Polygon has a good breakdown of, because it's kind of scattered into a bunch of different tiers. So the VIP demo is January 25th to 27th, and that's for PS, PS4, Xbox One. and your requirements are either pre-ordering, EA Access, or Origin Access. These are subscriptions style services. And then we have the open demo, February 1st to 3rd, again, all platforms. No requirements for this. And then we have the early access to the full game, which is on February 15th, which is 7 days ahead of time of the public access. But this will be PC only for the early access on February 15th. And then Anthem 10 hours of access to the full game. So this is on February 15th, PC and Xbox One. PlayStation, you're gonna have to wait till February 22nd, it looks like. And then the public release, February 22nd, with all platforms. So a lot of different weird kind of tiers to get into the game, I guess. So odd, but useful now that you know. So there's that. We also have some Rage 2 stuff going on Twitter. There's a little bit of a battle between Rage 2 and Far Cry New Dawn. So Rage 2 tweets, huh? I guess pink is all the rage? Question mark. Rage 2. Get pumped for the new Rage 2 gameplay coverage next week. So they're teasing basically Far Cry with their pink information that they kind of gave out. We're going to go over some trailers in just a minute. But then Far Cry responds, glad you like our art. If you also need a new trailer, here's a good one. So they're kind of going back and forth. Oh sweet, the game looks great. So it's pretty fun news if you like Twitter battles. So here is a Far Cry New Dawn, the story trailer. They will go over some of the different characters that you're going to be interacting with and some other story dialogue. You can check out that whole 2-minute trailer for yourself. No spoilers for me, or will there be? Here's a 5-minute trailer that they go over new enemies, locations, and a pet, new animals. So this one we can dive into a little more. They go over the super bloom, basically where all the plant and life and vegetation is coming from over this apocalyptic battlefield basically that happened 17 years ago and is just now regrowing. And then we kind of get into the highwaymen, the bandit style enemies that you're going to be facing a lot of, and some of the weapons and travel systems. So let's jump to the home base we can talk a little bit about. So this is going to be where you're going to be building up stuff and traveling from, and you can explore different places from there. And you can jump into different missions and different people you'll talk to. And then we have some guns and things for hire at 146. We jump into some more combat-oriented stuff to talk about. So you can hire people to help you out and fight actual combat. And then there's other NPCs that you can talk to and actually upgrade your these are specialists who can help upgrade your base, which will get you access to different things and weapons and potentially higher ranks for your weapons and traveling around, possibly it looked like from that. So jumping into actual weapon ranks, we get to see that a machine gun does only 1/3 of that person's health, which is after like 20 some shots. So this is dependent on your weapon's rank. So the example they gave was a level 2 pistol will actually deal more damage than a level 1 machine gun because it's a higher rank and you've upgraded it with either better ammo or just being stronger, as well as getting sights and different things you can upgrade, as well as just ranks. So you get other benefits from upgrading your weapons to make it easier to fight in combat and slay harder opponents. And that lets us go into some scavenging at 307. So there is some crafting to the game, as well as upgrading ranks and stuff. So you'll have to gather resources or just steal them from convoys and actual outposts from the enemies. So you can gather that way. And then there's other stuff just wandering around in the world too. There's wandering NPCs. There's some scouts around that you can talk to and different interactions you can do just by exploring, because you can leave the home base and basically do whatever you want for mission-wise stuff. So that seemed pretty interesting. And also there is the Eden's Gate followers that will be around. You can actually get some of them as allies. So if you are hyped about fighting them, you can be hyped about being friends with them. And then lastly, you can completely travel really far away out of home base and go into different breached aircraft carriers and Navajo villages. So you're not just limited to exploring around your home base, you can actually travel to faraway places as well. So that was a bunch to dive into. That's 5 minutes. You can check out that whole thing, get every single little tidbit. There's some cool, cute little pets to talk to and pet as well, I guess. But that leads us into another Days Gone trailer. This is the World Video Series. This is the second video, and they're going to focus a little bit on riding around on your bike. So your bike can be damaged apparently, and you'll have to do outdoor field repairs, or you can just straight up buy upgrades and repairs. And on top of that, here's your bike is dying, he's working on it, or you can just go to a shop and buy new parts. So you can actually upgrade your engine and stuff and get nitro fuel to actually do some more of the faster paced gameplay and battle stuff like that. And then there's gas you have to explore and gather if you want to use your bike, and looked like he had to fight to get that. So there's that. And then we also have some traps out in the world, because riding a bike can get pretty hectic if there's rope in the way, and you would probably die. And lastly, we have the little straddle bag that you can store ammo in and carry more stuff around in case a bear kills you. And we're not going to show what happens there, but there's that. And then there is some more blood, and there's some fast travel routes. If you kill the infestation housing places, you can open up different ways to explore. And you want to also keep an eye out for narrow checkpoints, apparently, because that'll help you heal up while you travel around and take on different battles. So check out that 2.5-minute World Series video. There's going to be, I believe, a third one, if not more than that. So there is all your game news. We have a Lulu with Pantropy. Thanks for the info. So it looks like you're going to play some early access stuff next week. Get hyped. And with that, all that crazy news, we will have another episode today at 3 p.m. as well as 2 more tomorrow, every day. And we will be signing out now. Pew 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 pew.